Hello children, let's take up this next set. Pause the video, go through the question, read it carefully. It's an easy question based on one of the PYQs of CAT. Very nice question, very interesting. I wouldn't say very easy or direct, but it's a very interesting question. Alright, so let's read the question first. A bank needs exactly 2 guards on each day of week from Monday to Saturday. A, B, C, D and E are the people responsible for guarding the bank. None of them works for 3 consecutive days during the week. A does not work on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. D and B never work on the same day. So I think by now it is very clear that we have to create a grid. If somebody is working, we'll put a tick mark. If somebody is not working, we'll put a cross mark. Okay, corresponding to the combination of date, day and person. Okay. Right, so he works with A on Friday, B works for 3 days, E works for maximum. So all the other information is given. Right, I am assuming you have read the question. Let's take a look at the questions. Which of the following statement cannot be true? Cannot be. So this gives us an idea that we will not be able to definitely identify all the combinations. Okay. If C works, this gives you an idea that if, so very clearly extra information is given in the question. That means the information given here is not good enough, may not be good enough, okay, to exactly identify who all are working on Monday, who all are working on Tuesday, and so on and so forth. Right? Okay, so let's create some space. We have some space here also, but I have done one thing. If you see, I have taken the entire information here so that we have a larger utilizable space. We'll use it. Okay. Right. So what I'll do is I'll put Monday. This is one very important thing that everyone needs to understand. In the exam, you don't have computerized screen, okay, to work on. You have pen, paper. So make sure that you have this habit of creating table by your hand with pen, paper, because if you're not habituated to it, you'll face a lot of trouble in the final exam. So make sure that you keep doing this practice deliberately. Friday, Saturday, okay. Also, you don't have different color pen or pencils in the exam. Right? Usually when we do it on electronic screen, we use different color pens. You have to make sure that you are able to do things in one single mono color. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And there are 5 people, A, B, C, D, E. So we have all the people here. Now what we do is, wherever we know that somebody is working on a particular day, we'll put a tick mark, and somebody is not working, we'll put a cross mark. Okay. A bank needs exactly 2 guards on each day. So the presence or absence, if I count, on Monday the presence is 2, on Tuesday 2, Wednesday 2, Thursday 2, Friday 2, Saturday 2. So the total number of presence, total number of attendances would be 12, 2 on each day. Alright. A, B, C, D are the people, none of them works for 3 consecutive days. A does not work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So A does not work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right. D and B never work on the same day. D and B never work on the same day. So we cannot do anything about this. So I'll just mark that we come back to this. B works on alternate days and he works with A on a Friday. B works with A on Friday. So both A and B are working on Friday. Also B is alternate days. So he cannot work on Saturday, cannot work on Thursday. Alternate days means Friday, Wednesday and Monday. So clearly B is working for 3 days. You see the total number of attendance of B is 3. Overall total number of attendance should be 12. So we need to identify the number of attendance of A, C, D, E as well. We know the total is 12. Fantastic. B worked for 3. Okay, now coming back to this, D and B cannot work on the same day. So B is working on Monday, so D will not work on Monday. B is working on Wednesday, so D will not work on Wednesday. B is working on Friday, so D will not work on Friday. Very good. So basically, whatever information you are able to identify, put it in the table in the form of tick and cross. Alright, E works for maximum number of days. Now if E is working for maximum number of days, he has to work for more than 3 days. There are total 6 days and no one works for 3 consecutive days. Now E can work either for 4 days or 5 days. Either for 4 days or 5 days. There is another thing, on Friday the attendance is already full. We need only 2 people, already 2 people are there, exactly 2 people are required. So on Friday no one else can work. So the available slots for E is only 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Whatever you do, he will have to work on all 5 days if you want him to work on 5 days. In that case, these 4 days will be consecutive. So this condition will be violated, right? No one works on 3 consecutive days. So 5 is not possible. Oh, for that matter, is 4 possible? Check it. These 4 consecutively not possible, right? What if I take this one and then I take 3 out of this? Is it possible to take 3 out of this so that we don't get 3 consecutive? If I take these 3, no, that will be consecutive. That means I cannot leave this one. See, E has to work for some days, no? E has to work for at least 4 days. So we need to identify that whether he's or which all days he has to definitely work. I'll repeat this part, okay? E has to work for the highest number of days as given in the question. B is already working for 3 days. So E has to work either for 4 or for 5 days. 5 is not possible because in that case he will have to work on 3 consecutive days. So I am removing 5. Now we are checking how is it possible for E to work on 4 days, right? 4 days. Check it carefully. Can I take these 4 consecutive days? No, because there will be 3 consecutive days of work. That should not happen. That means I cannot leave this blank for E. So E has to work on Saturday. Now here these 4 days. Can I leave this blank and these 3 consecutive? No, I cannot take 3 consecutive. So I cannot leave this blank. So this has to be taken. That means E has to work at this place, Thursday. Perfect. Can I leave this place? Can I put a cross mark here? No, because in that case these 3 will be consecutive, success. So that will not be that will be a problem. So these 3 are wrong. Okay. So what does that mean? I cannot leave for E Monday as well because I have to complete 4 days for E. So we have completed 3 days for E. All right. So now what does it mean? Out of these 2 days, one is tick, one is cross. Right? Whatever you do, he will not get 3 consecutive days. So till now it is very clear that E has to be a tick mark, has to have a tick mark either on Tuesday or Wednesday. So E has to work either on Tuesday. But one thing is very clear that E has to work on Monday, E has to work on Thursday, E has to work on Saturday. Now what does that do? That tells us that Monday 2 attendance is complete. Monday 2 attendance is complete. So C cannot work on Monday. Nice. Is there anything else that we can decide? Check. So Monday is completed. Tuesday is not yet completed. Wednesday is not completed. Thursday is not completed. Friday is completed. Saturday is not completed. Right? What else? We still don't know for how many days A has worked, how many days C has worked, how many days D has worked. Right? We know that A has worked for 3 days, E has worked for 4 days. Alright, total is 12. That means whatever is the number of days for A, B, C, D, E, that has to be 12. Now 3 plus 4 is 7. That means the number of days for A, let's say X, Y and Z for A, C, D. X plus Y plus Z has to be how much? Think about that. 12 minus 3 and 4. So it has to be 5. Or I don't even need to take, just for purpose of showing I have written it. I'll just remove that because if it is not necessary, let's not put it here. This work is also done, so I'll remove this. What is important is that A, B, C, D, E. The total has to be 12. Right? B is already 3, E is already 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7. Now whatever number I put here in place of A, C, D, it should give us a total of 12. But there is one condition. Look at that condition. It says alternate days B works on this. Both D and B work on alternate. Both B and D work for odd number of days. That is one. 2 particular guards work for the same number of days. Each of the rest of the 3 work for distinct number of days. See, from 12, 3 and 4 are gone. So remaining 5. How do I distribute 5 among 3 people? If I distribute 5 among 3 people, it could be 4, 1, 0. That is not possible. Everyone has to work on some days. Everyone has to work on some days. And I cannot take 4 because 4 is the maximum. 4 is the maximum. The maximum that I can take is 3. So 3, 1, 1. Is that possible? 3, 1, 1. No, but in that case, these two are same number of days. These two are same number of days. This is a different number of days. Here, it should be 3 people working on 3 distinct number of days. So this is wrong. 3, 1, 1 is not possible in any case. Right. So what does that mean? Can we have 2, 2, 1? Now 2, 2, 1, it could be 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 2. Okay, so this looks possible. But there is one problem, not problem, D is odd number. So if D is odd, that means this case, these two cases are not possible. This is the only situation that is possible. Look at it closely. Okay, very simple English information, just translate it. So now we know that A has worked for definitely 2 days and C has worked for 2 days, D has worked for 1 day. Do we have the completion? For C, oh, we don't have any single day yet. D, we don't have. For A, 1 is missing. So very clearly, one of these 2 days A will work. That is for sure. Nice. Okay. Also, let's try to identify the people who have already worked. For example, on Monday, you see on Monday, we already have the complete information. B and E have worked together. And on Friday, who all have worked together, check that. A and B have already worked for sure. So E is yet to work on one more day. Here E can work with either C or D. Here E can work with either B or C. Here E can work with A or C or D. Oh, so nothing can be said now. Just look at it. Take a moment. Take a look at it very clearly. Nothing more can be done here. Okay. We have already seen the question because it says which of the following we have not seen, but now we can take a look at the question. Which of the following statement cannot be true? E and A work together on Thursday. E and A work together on Thursday. Why not? Possible? Yes. This is possible. Okay. Other options? C and D work together on Thursday. C and D work together on Thursday. Oh, D is not working on... Oh no, wait a second. C and D work together on Thursday. Is that possible? If C and D work together on Thursday, we will have to check it. No option. C and D. So if I put like this, then there will be 3 people working on Thursday. So this is not possible, right? Because on Thursday already he is working. So we cannot have C and D working. All right. So that's it. So we don't need to go further. We don't need to go ahead. Our purpose is done. Okay. The question was, which of the following statements cannot be true? So this is option B. C and D work together on Thursday cannot be possible. Cannot be true. So answer is option B. Now, next one. If C works on a Saturday with E, then which 2 guards work on Tuesday? You see? C, Saturday with E. C, Saturday with E. Alright. I'm changing the color just to make sure that you understand that everything that you see on the board right now is frozen, is fixed. Now, whatever we do is the extra for this particular question. So, CE on Saturday. CE on Saturday. Let's see. On Saturday, E is already working. And I'm assuming, the question is telling us that C is, let me remove this lower thing is already used. So I'll remove this. Okay. So according to the question we have, C works on Saturday with E. So I've taken C. Now that means Saturday thing is over. So I cannot do anything else on Saturday. But A has to complete 2 days. So A has completed only 1 day. So this one will be taken by A, Thursday. Now Thursday 2 people are completed, so no other person can work on Thursday. Now D, 1 day has to be completed and we don't have anything yet, so this has to be done. Wow, fantastic. On Tuesday, all right. So now you see, C can work either on Tuesday or Wednesday because C has to work 1 more day. C total is 2. 1 is done. So one of these. And similarly, E has to work on one of these 2 days. Tuesday needs one more Wednesday. Alright, so it could be any combination on Tuesday and Wednesday. But what is the question? The question was, which two guards work on Tuesday? Oh, nice. So on Tuesday, D is definitely working. It will be either C or E. It could be any one of them, right? So if C is working, this will not work. Okay. Similarly, if E is working, then this will not work. But in any case, it will be either DC or DE on Tuesday. Okay. Either DC or DE. Check the options. DC, alright, or DE. CE is definitely wrong. And yes, of course, option D is there. Either A or B. Nice. So it's a good question. It gives you a reason to put effort to expand your thought process. Okay. Let's look at the next one. If E works on one particular guard twice during the week, then which guard works on the same day as D? Same day as D. Okay. Right. Let's see. Now this is a tricky one. Okay. E works on one particular guard twice during the week. Let's see. Let me first remove whatever we did for the previous question. Now you see, we want E to work with somebody twice. You see, already here E is working with B. D has to work only on one day, so E cannot work with him twice. You see, E cannot work with D twice. दो बार possible नहीं है, because D has to work on only one day, so that is not possible. All right, all right. Now what about A? See, for A, these two are the only available. Out of this, A can work only one day, because if A and E want to work together, see here A is not working at all. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, A is not working at all. Friday is working, but that day E is not working. So if A and E want to work on 2 days, it will be Thursday and Saturday both, which is not possible because A has already worked for 1 day. So this is also not possible. So ED twice is not possible. EA twice is also not possible. So ED twice is not possible. EA twice is not possible. Okay. So it will be either EB or EC. What if I take EC twice? Now this is a tricky one. So what I'll do is I'll remove this. So it will be either EB or EC. Let's check EC twice. Is that possible? If E and C work together twice, on which all days it is possible? It is not possible on Monday. It is possible on Tuesday. It is possible on Wednesday. It is possible on Thursday. It is possible on Saturday. Nice. Okay. Okay. So let's start doing that. We'll have to do it one by one. We will have to do it one by one. So let's see. If I assume that on Saturday, if I'm assuming that EC work on 2 days, one Saturday and one other day. So we'll do it one by one. So if I'm assuming C is working on Saturday, then on Saturday the attendance is full, right? Then the other day, if I take it to be Thursday, I mean I can take it either the Thursday or Wednesday or Tuesday. Let's see. So if I take it as Thursday, then this will be a tick mark. Then Thursday attendance is complete. Then Tuesday D has to work. Then C cannot work on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then on Wednesday E has to work. And on Tuesday also E has to work. So this is working on 5 days, so that is wrong. Another thing, we could have ignored this in the beginning itself. A has to work for one more day which is not fulfilled. Alright, so this Thursday is wrong, so I'm going to remove that. So Thursday is not happening. Wait. So now what we do is, with Saturday, we take with Saturday, wait a second, that was the assumption. So now we know that Saturday and Thursday together are not possible. Okay. So we put a cut mark here. Also, if you have taken Saturday here, then A has to work on Thursday. That means E and A are working together on Thursday. So D cannot work on Thursday, so D has to work on Tuesday. Right? So is this feasible? So with Saturday here, Thursday is not possible. What about Wednesday or Tuesday? Let's take one by one. If I take Wednesday, we have to check one by one, there is no other choice. Be very careful, okay? You cannot do it in the air. So Wednesday, if I take Wednesday, E and C working together. So what happens now? Carefully check it. C cannot work on Tuesday because uska 2 din pura ho gaya. E cannot work on Tuesday because his 4 days are completed. The problem is Tuesday 2 days, 2 people will not be completed. Nice. So this Wednesday is wrong. So if Wednesday is wrong, remove it. Wednesday is wrong, remove it. What else can we do? Can we take it Tuesday? Wednesday is wrong. So the last option that we have is Tuesday. Right? So if I take it as Tuesday, what is happening now? If I take it as Tuesday, so Tuesday 2 people are completed. So E cannot work on Saturday, on Tuesday. On Wednesday, 1 is done, so we have E to work on that day. Now here there is a problem. What is the problem? Look at this. If E works with one particular guard twice during the week, so if you come back to this, here what do you see? Look at this closely. So, ये तो BE साथ में हो गया. We had to take EC together on Saturday, Tuesday. So what does that mean? Oh, nice. EC together, that would mean this one. So I think you can see that this is also not possible. All right. So EC Saturday and any other day is not becoming possible. All right. We are not done yet. Please be very careful. Watch very carefully. Whatever you are doing right now is going to be of a very high importance. It will help you in checking cases in all the other situations. Right. So now what do we see? We see that Saturday E and C cannot work together. Okay. Then any other combination? Let's say Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, Tuesday. So Thursday and let's say Wednesday. Now look at this closely. So if I take Thursday and Wednesday, that means for C cannot work on Tuesday, for E cannot work on Tuesday, so the Tuesday 2 people will not be completed. All right. So Thursday, Wednesday is not working. So what should I do? Thursday, Tuesday, that's the next possibility. Thursday, Tuesday. Thursday, Tuesday. Yeah. So if I take them Thursday, Tuesday, so Thursday and Tuesday. Now what? For C, cannot work on Wednesday. E cannot work on Wednesday because otherwise 3 consecutive days will happen. So, but the problem is Wednesday 2 people will not be complete. So Thursday, Tuesday is also not possible. All right. So what should I do? I should say that this is also not happening. That means E and C cannot work together on Thursday as well. E and C cannot work together on Thursday as well. So the only possibility left now is Tuesday, Wednesday. But if they work on Tuesday, Wednesday, E will have to work on 5 days. So that means E and C together cannot work twice. E and C together cannot work twice. So till now we have seen that E and A cannot work twice, E and D cannot work twice, E and C cannot work twice. So the only thing that is left now is E and B. That also has to be checked. You have to be extremely careful. That also has to be checked. Okay. So finally, we check EB twice. Now, EB are already working together on Monday, so only one more day should be possible. Only one more day. When is it possible? Let's see. Is it possible on Saturday? No. Is it possible on Friday? No. Thursday? No. It is possible on Wednesday. Is it possible on Tuesday? No. Only one case to check, and that is Wednesday. Nice. So, if at all it is possible, it is only possible on Wednesday. Monday is already there. Okay. Now, if you look at E, 4 tick marks are already there. So, this Tuesday, E cannot work. Now, that means Tuesday, 2 people are required. So, these two, C and D, will work together. On Wednesday, 2 people are already working. So, C cannot work here. D has already worked for 1 day. So, will not work for other days. C has worked only for 1 day. Okay. All right. We need 1 tick mark here and 1 tick mark here. But that is possible. That is possible in any manner. It could be either A working on Thursday, C not working on Thursday, A not working on Saturday, C working on Saturday, and vice versa. So, I'll put a slash and cross, slash and tick. This will not create any trouble in this situation. Yeah, fantastic. What was the question? The question was, if E works with one particular guard twice during the week, then which guard works on the same day as D? Same day as D. Same day as D. So, same day as D is C. That is for sure. Whatever is the combination of A and C here, with D, definitely C is working. Okay. So, answer will be option A. See, the problem is, this is one, a great question for you for learning purpose, because we checked so many cases and we went in sequence. That's exactly how you would do it. Obviously, we'll need to do it a little faster. Do not circum this particular process, because initially if you do that, you will never be able to learn and grow. DI learning or LR learning is about growth of thought process. Now, anything grows only when you use it. So, if it is a thought process growth, you have to apply thought process, right? You cannot look for a shortcut, because this one is a simpler situation. In some other cases, you will have more, in other questions, you will have more cases, more complicated ones. Here, why I am saying it is simple, because there is a simple grid, tick, cross, boss, it is so easy. You put 1 tick and everything is clear. I mean, not everything clear, but at least you have a very clear idea. In other questions, it will be a more complicated thing and more multi-layered sequence to be followed. So, please make sure that you practice it really honestly. Okay. Yeah, so I don't remember what I was saying, but yeah, the answer of this question is option C. So, I was saying that it's a great opportunity. Do it properly, do it again. Last one. If E works with a different guard every time during the week, then which 2 guards work on Thursday? Now, this tells us, this tells us that E works on with a different guard on every time. Okay. So, let's go back. Let's remove everything that I have in blue. You do not have that option, I keep telling you. And I have no other way to do it. Because ya to ek aisa ho that I just keep drawing the entire table, but that will be your time wastage. So, I will not do that. Okay. Let's see. Look at E. Now, E has to work with everybody. And it will be possible exactly for 4 days, because he is working for 4 days and there are 4 people A, B, C, D. Let's do it. E has already worked with B on Monday. Okay. So, that means E and B are not going to work together. E and B are not going to work together again. So, B is working here, E will not be working there. Now, if E is not working there on Wednesday, then to complete 4, E has to work on Tuesday, right? Now, for Wednesday, 2 people should be completed. So, this has to be a tick mark, right? Now, E has to work with A, C and D. A, C and D. Now, this is very interesting. On Tuesday, look at this very closely. On which day E can work with D? On which day E can work with D? Either Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday or Saturday. On which day E can work with C? Same, either Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday. On which day E can work with A? Either Thursday or Saturday. Either Thursday or Saturday. Right? I'll do one thing. Let's take both cases. If E works with A on Saturday, then A cannot work on Thursday, right? And nobody else can work on Saturday. So what are we left with? We can have any one person working on Tuesday, any one person working on Thursday out of C and D. Right. So this is one situation that we have. Any one here and any one here. So it will be either, what was the question? The question was, every time, then which two guards work on Thursday? Work on Thursday. On Thursday, we have either EC or ED, that is one. That is one. Hold on. Either EC or ED. ED is there, EC is there, EA is also there. Okay, so cannot be determined, we'll check back. What if I take, we have checked A on Saturday. A on Saturday. Just 1 second. E is already working with B, so E will not work with B for sure on Wednesday. So we have removed it, and that gives us the whole situation, right? Now, what if I take E and A together on Thursday? E and A together on Thursday. Then A cannot work on Saturday. And then this Pandora's box again opens up. So what does it tell us? We still have the possibility. Now one more possibility is open, right? I mean, ED can work together on either Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday. Right. So eventually what it means is that it could be any of these three combinations on Thursday. So cannot be determined. D is the correct answer. But it is not possible to actually clarify unless you have checked all possibilities. Always remember that. Always keep this thing in mind. If you have not checked all possibilities clearly, you will not be able to answer this question. And this has to be visible. It has to be there on the paper. Then only you will be able to answer. So make sure that you do it once again. If there is any trouble yet, you can get back to us. Alright, so now I'll just introduce you to the two important things that we do as a part of our program. That is, there are many things that we do. Two of them are live classes, application classes for foundation building, and to clarify the basic concepts really strongly. And there are other modules. These are all the other modules which are a part of the training program that we do for CAT. Alright, visit the website iQuanta.in. You'll get more information. You can also call on the given number there, okay, and take help from our counselors. Thank you.